Craft Food and Wine Festival. Thank you guys for being here. Today we are going to talk a little bit about the story behind the beer. Who's tried MMMHops here this week? Awesome. Who's tried MMMHops this morning? Actually, so we started off the day taking some photos, and this is either a perk or a danger of having your own beer. They're like, well, it's 8 a.m., here's your beer. Start drinking. Beer for breakfast.
I've also decided that it actually kind of takes the edge off of the morning, oh, I didn't sleep very well. I feel better.
So
thank you, the alcoholic.
So who's not from the U.S.? Is anybody not from the U.S.? There's one, two,
a few. Okay,
there's some people in the back. So it's truly international. You know, a little bit international flair. Talking about the beer, one of the cool things that we love about it is the representation of all the different people around the country and the world that have their own flavors, their own kind of styles of beer. And so this is our way of kind of sharing our passion. The pale ale is kind of an anchor for craft beer, and is one of the styles that is really kind of widely admired, and really the story for us was starting with passion.
Yeah, well, honestly, pale ales were actually some of my first favorite beers. I for a long time was not necessarily a beer fan, and actually one of the very first beers I ever had was a Sierra Nevada. I won't tell you how old I was. But anyway.
He was legal in somewhere.
Yeah, so anyway, but needless to say, pale ales have, as Taylor said, been an anchor for craft beer, but they've also been an anchor, certainly for me and us as a band with regard to, our favorite beer flavors, and Sierra Nevada being one of them, and a lot of others around the country. People like Great Divide and others make excellent pale ales.
Dogfish Head stands out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I heard an ooh.
The question is, are you a 60-minute or a 90-minute?
90.
Wow, 60 minutes. She's like, 60 minutes. Mm-hmm.
I think that us getting into beer is as random and as natural as it seems. Music. A lot of people drink beer while listening to or enjoying music.
Or making music.
So there's that natural connection. And we were sitting around one night thinking about, man, wouldn't it be, what if we did our own beer?
And we'll reenact it. And then Zach was like, what if we did our own beer? I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
And then I'd be like, what would we call it?
I was like, well, if we had a pale ale, we'd call it MMMHops.
And as random and silly as the name was, we just kind of went, wait a second, that's kind of good.
Because when you drink it, you're like, MMMHops. Imagine Homer Simpson.
Anyway, so at that point, it was really a matter of going, okay, wait a second, that actually seems like what it says about the band. We've been a band for a long time. What it says about that song talks about just the idea that few things in life will last. And so going on and sort of bringing bop, making it sort of come of age, was kind of like that. There's something really cool about it.
If you play that song backwards, it says "drink more beer." It's a weird thing. People don't know about that.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
The Beatles.
But it is true that the song has almost come of age officially to 21, but our band has come of age to 21. So,
and there you go.
Yeah.
And actually, interestingly, in the same year that the band turned 21, we launched Hanson Brothers Beer Company.
Yes.
And put out MMMHops Pale Ale. So we could talk about a little bit about kind of, I guess, the pale ale itself and just kind of the kind of story behind it. MMMHops, again, it is a beer that we love. It's a beer that we would drink on a regular basis and do. And of course, as you said,
for breakfast sometimes.
Not all the time, just sometimes at Epcot, at Disney World. Wait,
yeah.
What? Anyway, that was definitely a weird moment. 8 o'clock in the morning, drink this beer.
Is anybody here a particularly big craft beer fan that searches stuff out? We're talking about, this is our first style, not the only beer, and we're talking about styles of beer that we want to try next. How about any standout styles, pale ales, stouts? You like stout?
Okay, who likes stouts? Raise your hand.
Okay, wow, stouted up right there. That's happening. Okay, check. How about Pilsners?
Pilsners? Any Pilsners?
Do you guys drink Pilsner in me? Cider? I see a whole lot of cider. Okay.
Cider, beautiful.
That's not good. Not working. Yes, we're referencing the songs.
We will probably get away from the song fun.
Well, I mean,
This is funny.
I feel like a lot of people have had MMMHops, but maybe we should talk about the sort of concept behind the flavor of MMMHops and how we came to what.
Yeah, so with this, starting with the pale ale is a great place to start for us because it really, to me, it's the beer that kind of hits on a wide flavor palette. You have a lot of hops, but there's so many people doing IPAs, which is Indian pale ales, really, really overhopped, that oftentimes you drink it and all you taste is that bitter, hoppy flavor, and you kind of get that.
And then double
this is good. And it's almost like especially in American pale ales, West Coast pale ales, you have these really piney kind of strong, really amazing beers, but it kind of takes over. So what we were trying to do,
sort of like man versus beer.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
hey, we're gonna make it so bitter.
One of the things when we were coming up with the recipe for MMMHops, we were very conscious of the fact that while I really like a bitter beer, an IBUs, for those who don't follow beer, IBU is International Bitterness Unit. So a lot of people are going in a kind of an IBU competition. They're like, we're gonna get it to 100. And then you're like, ow, that hurt. I didn't taste the beer, I just tasted like bitterness.
So the balance of the beer, I mean, if we have to describe it, it's kind of the ones that welcomes you into trying craft. It's got a more malty kind of body, more of a traditional. It has a English barley malt, which is called Marisauder, which kind of gives it more of this even flavor, and then the caramel color and the kind of rich tone comes from Caramel 40, which is kind of a very standard malt. But then you have this pretty complex combination of different hops. The Zythos hops, which is a blend of 3, and so you have this whole kind of the palate. The whole thing with creating the palate of the beer is it's all about the proportion of how much there's difference between the ingredients. So you can have a lot of hops and a lot of barley, and it won't matter as long as you have a lot of both. The bitterness balance will kind of even out. So we feel like this is the beer that when you go to drink it, you're like, hey, you should really get into craft. You should try beers. It allows you to kind of introduce people and pull them in. Basically like the weed of drugs. Weed is for drugs. This is for beer. So the hard stuff comes later.
It's a joke.
We're working on Hanson bourbon, but obviously that takes a little longer.
So we'll get you there later. You won't remember anything. No, but in all, it definitely is. It's definitely the invitation in to try what we think is not only a great beer, but the whole scene of craft beer. And one thing we're really excited about is to be able to be just a very small part of the scene of really passionate people that are starting businesses, starting their own craft beers, developing businesses all over the country, and kind of being that thing that people kind of pursue. When we first started getting into craft beer was from a lot of our travel. You get to visit a city and you hear about something that's going on.
Well, it's actually one of the ongoing things from city to city. Well, what's a good local brewery? What's a good local beer? Because there has been such an explosion in the U.S. And really the U.S. is leading in this particular area, which is very cool to be kind of at the beginning of an ever-growing trend of, oh yeah, there's a small brewery in this town or that town that you can really only get in that city because it's that small. And so you get the opportunity to really try stuff, and then some of those will end up growing and hopefully become really well-recognized national brands. And many have begun to do that in the last 20 years as things have really started to grow immensely in the craft beer world. And in a lot of ways, the comparison to the modern music business and the modern beer business is actually pretty remarkably similar. You have a lot of very passionate people who are excited about their craft, that brewing of that beer, that writing of that song, and they are, taking a lot of risk getting out there and day by day, city by city, bar by bar, taking that opportunity.
Are you talking about musicians or brewers?
Well, that's actually bar by bar. And so it's really fun to have the opportunity to, be doing this on such a both big and small scale at the same time.
Okay, so do we have any questions you guys like to throw at us on craft beer stories or questions related to craft beer? No? You have one?
I'm local. Do you guys plan on getting distributors so that we can buy your beer
Yes.
all year round?
So the beer's officially launching here at Epcot, and it's our way of knowing just how great of a place Florida could be for the craft beer. Do you guys want to see it around Orlando and Florida? Okay, well, yes, we plan to share the beer throughout Florida following this, but starting with Epcot and hopefully with.
So limited release here at Epcot, and then we will grow beyond that. The beer is actually available here at the festival. You can actually purchase a 6-pack of MMMHops here, which is the very first time it's available in Florida. So we're excited. Thank you very much to Epcot for doing that, because it's very fun for us, and hopefully you guys will get the opportunity to check it out.
Well, one of the other ways it connects to our two worlds is you can actually get music with the beer, which of course for you guys, you're on the inside track, many of you who already know whatever is going on with Hanson Records, but we're in a band, you guys know that? So we thought thinking about the opportunity to spread what we do and other artists as well. We love the idea of creating scanning a QR code so you actually get a song, to get a chance to introduce people. And as the beer evolves, it's kind of a cool way to connect the two worlds. And if you scan with the QR code, you get a song. Any other questions? Anyone have a question? Down to the end.
They need to be about beer.
Yeah, with your hop chain question.
Yes.
So I see you've got your Hop Jam Beer Festival shirt on. We launched a beer festival in our hometown back in May, which was awesome. Music and beer. And she was asking if we had another beer. We did actually sort of try we did a farmhouse ale, which we were really proud of, that came out just at that festival. Did you didn't get to try it?
It was another pun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called Festivale.
Yes.
At our festival. Get it?
That's a slow burn right there. Yes, we did. We got a lot of great feedback about that beer. It's kind of a summer beer, and so we're probably launch it officially once it's getting hot again. It's always hot here, but in most everywhere. But
It's always summer in Florida.
any other questions? We have Wade in the back. She's like, yes.
Jen.
Do we plan to open our brewery? So we brew right now. We brew with another Oklahoma brewer, which they're a fantastic Mustang. And Oklahoma laws are kind of crazy on craft beer breweries. But yes, we do. The plan is to have our own facility specifically.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully you'll be able to come visit it once it's there.
Exactly.
Come give a tour.
It's a drunk temple.
It's always okay to be drunk here at the brewery.
Our message is not to
We
drink,
live in Oklahoma.
to get drunk.
It's okay to be drunk.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We are very excited that so many of you guys have come not only to see us talk and make jokes about beer, but to see the shows. You guys going to join us later for the music? We want to thank Disney and Epcot for bringing MMMHops in. I want to give a round of applause to them for making it happen here. We're really excited to see that grow. And we're also going to take a few minutes and meet many of you guys and also sign your MMMHops bottles if you guys have purchased one here, and get to say hello and take photos. So thank you guys for joining us for a little talk. Thanks for joining us at Epcot. We'll see you in just a minute.
Oh, he said take pictures? I cannot even with that Hanson. I just...